Being super duper professional as usual, I'm using my phone to record over this video because I am just that professional. I'm working on trying to speak coherently, like in a straight sort of line. Usually I would spend hours and hours going back through my audio and chopping things out, like all the long spaces and the ums or the uhs or the and awkward things like that just don't make sense, or mumbling when it doesn't make sense. But the software that I use has changed a little bit, and it is really, really hard to edit stuff now because you can't scroll in to the wavelengths of things. I don't know why people that developed Caden Live thought that was a really good idea, because it's not. Really sucks. Anyways, that's not what I wanted to complain about. What I wanted to complain about was the gala that I was in on the third Thursday of May. So that was like May 19th, I think. Let me quickly double check here. Go back to May. Yes, May 19th was the gala opening at the studio place that I work at. It was kind of meant to be as we're reopening our doors. Everybody come and see what our artists are doing. Hey artists, please be inside your studio so you can answer questions, talk to people, and give out your business cards. Yada, yada, yada. It was basically like a big business event with a lot of people and a lot of things going on, and a lot of stuff that I don't like doing, like stuff going on in big events. So it was an experience. Let's just put it that way. My studio is on the third floor of the building where I work. So it takes a lot for people to get up to that level, because there's there's 4 floors, and I am on the third one, and the fourth one's in the basement. During the gala, I also had a piece that was showing in the first floor gallery area. It was called Show Off, and the idea was that the artists there were presenting their best works. I entered into that show throwing some random picture that I worked on for a little bit when I was in New York City. It certainly isn't like the best I've ever done by far, but they accepted it and it got into that show, so I guess it's okay. I certainly don't think it's the best work I've ever done. The best work I've ever done is over 25 feet long and over 4 feet wide, and goodness knows they don't have space for that. So, I just picked some random thing that I already had framed, and it turned out to be this cat picture that can pop up right here. Anyway, so I had a picture there, and then I had my studio open on the third floor, and outside my studio along the wall, I had put up some of the pictures that I had done recently for Oceanica, because I got them back from the Elemental show that was at the Nampa Civic Center by this point, so I was able to show them on the wall. And I put business cards underneath and, wrote what studio they belonged to so people could come and find me, because they might be dumb and not look around the corner. No offense to anybody who went to that, and I thought you were dumb. You're not dumb. I just was paranoid that everyone was going to not figure out where I was, basically, even though I was just right around the corner. So I had my door open, and people were just coming in and out whenever they wanted to, and it was really, really nerve-wracking. It was so impossible to not kind of freak out a little bit, to be honest. If there's more than 2 people in a room at a time, I tend to kind of panic a little bit, because I feel the need to have everyone that is in my vicinity to be in my peripheral vision, at least. Like, I have to be able to see everyone and know what everyone is doing at all times, because I'm very paranoid and suspicious of other people. And so when there's more than 2 people at a time, I get really anxious as well. So when there's like 5, 6, 7 people crowding into my tiny little studio space, trying to look at the stuff that I had inside my studio and all wanting to talk to me, it was really, really nerve-wracking. And I just had to sit there at my desk and try not to fall apart and start crying and or screaming and or just phasing out completely and being catatonic. I have a tendency when there's just too much going on to go catatonic, bleh, I can almost speak. And I'm leaving all this in, of course, because my software is garbage. But it's free, so I'm not going to change it. Anyway, so there's a lot of people, and they kept asking me questions about stuff. There was a guy who wanted to know how I got my inspiration for things, and he just wouldn't understand or take my answer that was, it just comes to me. Like, somehow he couldn't understand that. Like, he's like, so how did you get your idea for this piece? Oh, I was lying in my bed and it just came to me. Okay, but like, how did you get your idea for this piece? Okay, I was in my bed and I thought about it and there it was. Like, I don't understand what's difficult to understand here. It's just how my brain works. Apparently yours works differently. Okay. There was some people that I met that were in other studios that came around, and well, actually, no, now that I think about it, I did do that. I actually went around to other people's studios and talked to them, and it was really boring and really superfluous, in my opinion, because I knew that after that night, I was never going to talk to any of these people ever again, despite the fact that we all have studios that are connected to each other pretty much, and there's just walls between us, and that's it. There's not even like ceilings. They're open studio spaces, kind of like like in business buildings. I'm so stupid. I'm just so stupid. What's the word for it? Anyways, they have like those movable walls or whatever. It's kind of like that, only the walls don't move and whatever. You get the picture. I'm just rambling now to fill up time. Anyway, focusing. So people are asking questions and I was answering to the best of my ability, trying not to freak out. After about the first 30 minutes, I gave up trying to work on anything and I just pulled out a book and just was reading until the next group of people came in. And there was this one guy with his wife who came in and she pointed to something on the wall. And she said, oh my goodness, I love this. This is so cool. And she left and then he turned to me and he said, so how much do you want for this? And this is where I learned something very important that for some reason just never occurred to me, but totally makes sense, and I'm totally just dumb for not thinking about it. So there's 4 walls of the studio, of course, and 2 of the walls have just stuff that I've collected that gives me inspiration. Like I have an Elvira Mistress of the Dark calculator that is broken up so that you can see all 12 pictures. Because she is damn sexy. And, then I have a wall that has some prints from other artists that I really like. And then there's the other 2 walls. And I put up some old artwork on those 2 walls so people could see them. But mixed into the artwork, I had pieces that I put up that inspired me still, that were just on those other 2 walls. And it didn't occur to me that anything that was on those 2 walls was free game for anybody to ask to buy. And so when he pointed to this piece and said, how much do you want for that? I was completely blindsided because I had never thought about selling it. It was a piece that I had done over 2 days and I just liked it. And so I put it on the wall so I could look at it and had no intention of ever selling it. But when he asked, I was like, well, it was up on that wall. I guess if it's on the wall, it's free range. So I gave him a price and he said, okay, well, do you have this Cash App? And I said, no, I don't. I have this other Cash App. He says, well, I don't have that. How about I come back? I'll email you and then I'll come back. Where's your business card? So I gave him my business card and he was going to email me and get back to me. And I have not seen and or heard from him since the 19th of May. Which really sucks because I think I got ghosted. I think that even though he seemed completely fine with the price that I asked, he just decided, nope, that's just not something that I want to spend my money on. And then instead of telling me about not wanting it, he just ghosted me. And that really sucks because I spent a lot of time like wrapping it up nice. I put a nice thank you note on the back with a business card. and I washed it and I made it look super, super nice and presentable. I mean, I wrapped the damn thing in nice brown paper, and I think he ghosted me. So I'm going to wait until the third Thursday of this month. And if he doesn't come back, I'm just going to unwrap it and put it back on my wall as something to sell, because it's just sitting on my desk, wrapped up, in my way, and I can't do anything with it. And I think a month is a good amount of time to decide whether or not someone ghosted you. I'm really upset that I was ghosted. I really am, you know. I think I asked for a fair price, but I guess maybe I didn't. I don't know. It just doesn't feel good. It feels really bad to get really excited to sell an original piece and then the other person just disappears off the planet. It does not feel good. It's happened to me a few times, and that makes me really wonder if I price my work correctly or if I'm doing it all wrong or what. But I don't know, you know, and it really bothers me. And you know, I'm having the same problem with my prints online too. By the way, in the link description below, there is a link for my art prints. I lower them in price because the website that I use and the commerce site that I use that's with it lets me know how many people have seen my art prints and how many people have ordered my art prints. And the difference between the people who have ordered stuff and the people who have just looked at the stuff is a very big, staggering distance. So I lowered the price on my prints, hoping that maybe it would help, but it hasn't. So I don't know. I'm kind of despairing a little bit about that. Anyways, the last thing about the Gala that I will talk about briefly here is near the end when I decided to leave, because I was like, I'm not staying here for 3 hours straight. There was a guy who came in who had a video camera, and he started videotaping me. And at the time, I had like 5 people in my studio looking around, so I was trying to keep track of all the people in my studio, trying to keep up a good conversation, trying to act professional, look professional, and then this random dude with a camera just shows up. And I was not told that anybody was going to be filming this event. If the people who are in charge of the event, like the building manager and whatnot, hired someone to go around and videotape the artists, they did not tell us. And I went through all correspondence between that month and whatever, and there was nothing about a guy videotaping. And so if he was hired by them, that was extremely unprofessional on the part of the building manager's side. But if he was just some random dude, like, why was he getting away with doing this? You know, it's really kind of crappy to be videotaping someone when they're not prepared for it. And I realized how much this bothered me when I realized that the reason why I was so upset with this is because I didn't have any control over what he was taping. Like, I put myself on YouTube and I talk and stuff about that on YouTube. And I show my face and whatnot, but I have control over what you guys see in here. I do. I have total control. You know, unless something really weird and bizarre happens and I don't catch it and edit it out, you know. So to have this guy videotaping me was so nerve-wracking. I started to have a panic attack on the spot, but I had to keep smiling and acting professional and talking, and it really just, it was not a good experience, and I felt so powerless. I felt like all the control that I had and all the power that I had was taken by this guy and his camera. And looking back on it, what I really should have done was stop what I was saying, turn to him and say, I'm sorry, please don't videotape me. I do not want this, thank you. Sorry, but no thank you. You know, I really should have just stopped everything and then just addressed it, told my boundary, and moved on. And I did not do that. I let my boundary get walked over, you know, and it's definitely something that I've learned now. And I'm not going to do that in the future. Anyways, this video is quickly coming to an end. So I will end with the videotape guy, because that was pretty much the end of the gala for me, because after that I was like, I need to go home. I can't be here anymore. I just can't do it anymore, you know. So I'm gonna end the video here. The gala was overall a success, just something that I did not like being in. I like being alone, and I like to not talk to people in real life. So, anyway, I will see you all later. Check out links in below if you want. All right, bye-bye.